We go, cricket lovers, Chatsy here, and I thought I'd share what I've learned over the past 40 years about making a ripping backyard swinging cricket ball. So what you need to do this, in order to do this, is a tennis ball first of all. Now I prefer the ones from the likes of Kmart because they don't bounce quite as much as your Slazenger and your other more tennis orientated balls. It's quite soft, as you can see there as I squeeze that. Need a roll of black electrical tape. I am using 2mm whippersnipper or trimmer line here, and we use that for the seam, and of course a sharp pair of scissors to do the cutting of the tape and the trimmer line. Okay, now first things first, I've cut here. As you can see here, I've cut a piece of trimmer line which is essentially twice the circumference of the tennis ball. Now what I use for the guide to make sure you get this in the middle of the ball is this part of the ball, so you get your cross line through the middle there. And as I said before, I've cut it so it goes around the circumference of the tennis ball twice and then meets quite evenly there. So you want to get that fairly central to the tennis ball, so just work that around until you do get it in the middle. Okay, that's looking pretty good there now. Okay, now once you've got that in a position, cut yourself a little piece of tape. It's always good to have a second pair of hands when you do this part because it can be a little bit tricky, but I'll make it work for the purpose of the exercise here today. Just get a small piece of tape here, like so, and use that to pin down that part of the seam for the time being. Then from there, grab your tape, and you want to wrap that seam up quite a number of times. Always great when you can't find the end of the tape. There it is there. There we go. Okay, now nice and tightly, oh there we go. And you want to wrap that nice and tight around that seam, and you want to keep that top finger on that join all the time, otherwise it will spring loose and all will be lost. Once you come across beautifully, you got that first join, then you want to do quite a number of rotations just to really seal that down nice and tight. As you can see there, that's going to create a really nice seam for your cutter and the like when you're playing your indoor or your backdoor cricket test. So around a few more times we go. Once you're satisfied that it's stuck down nice and tight, just cut that off nice and square. And press that join down there nice and tight. Maybe just shove that in there a little bit nice and tight. So there you go. Terrific start to our test backyard cricket ball. Now from here, I've played around with a number of ways of doing this, wrapping it round, and I think I've found this is the best. So what you do is you start off at that last join there, always. Start your rotation with the tape on the other side of the seam. That way when you lock it in later on with your joining wrap, then it's not going to come loose. Now really tightly across the top of the ball there, as you can see, and you want to run it until once again on the other side. You're going to cut it just on the other side of that seam. But try not to extend past this point here, because what you'll find will happen is that'll drag and then your ball will come apart fairly quickly. Okay, then you want to continue to do that. So start then on the other side, nice and tight, and going across, wrapping across, and then joining there on the other side. Join that down. It's probably gone a little bit far, but that'll be okay for the purpose of the exercise. And then away we go, continuing to do that until we have the ball completely covered. Okay, so there you have the basis of the ball. As you can see there, wrapped edge to edge. There's no little gaps there. If you do have another gap, just run another piece of tape over it and cover it up. It doesn't matter if there's a couple across one section of the ball too much. Then to complete the ball, you just need to wrap the seam a few times just to make sure that all these pieces of tape don't come out. So it's, once again, simple process there. Starting, try not to go over the edge too much. Try and keep it nice and straight on the ball. That bit there is a bit higher. I probably would normally re-wrap that, but for the purpose of the exercise, it's all good. Continuing to go around, around, around. There we go, getting there. Okay. And I'm pretty confident now that that's not going to go anywhere, so I'm going to cut that off nice and straight again. Pushing that down, making sure it seals down nice and tight. And there you have it, my friends, cricket lovers, ready for day one of your backyard ashes. And let me tell you, my advice, if you win the toss, to bowl first. Have a great summer, see you soon.